All right, what's going to be a clash of the eras as the alternative Anthony Greene steps into the ring with Crowbar, a seasoned force in the wrestling world. Both competitors have shown they can hang with the best in the business, and now they're out to prove who's better in this must-see showdown. Jonathan, man, welcome back. We're getting ready for ACW, the Poughkeepsie Rumble, January 4th at the MJN Center in Poughkeepsie, New York. Another match we're going to be talking about this. What do you think about this, man? This is I think I said the clash of the eras, right?
Yeah, and first of all, I just want to say, if you haven't got your tickets already, what are you waiting for?
I know.
And also, if you're hearing this, there may not be many left, honestly.
Yes, get it now.
It's the holiday season. Go out there and get your tickets. But you're absolutely right. The clash of the eras. I always, as a longtime fan of professional wrestling, I'm a big fan of stakes in matches. So like whether it's a belt, whether it's some sort of ending of a feud, but this in itself is a clash of eras. You've got someone in Anthony Greene who is, no slouch in his own right. He's wrestled all over. He was in Japan. He was in WWE, briefly and all of that. We've seen him all over the East Coast as far as, professional wrestling on the independent scene. He has something to prove. He is definitely out there to kind of say, hey, listen, I've made my way around and I need to be a mainstay somewhere. It's time to get some gold. And I think he's going to try to do that by knocking off Crowbar. Mm-hmm. But it's not as easy as that, as we know. Crowbar, a long-term seasoned vet.
And former guest of the show.
The former guest of the show. I don't want Anthony Greene to hear this and think he can take the night off. Crowbar, while he is one of the nicest people that we've talked to on the show, he is a brute. He is a physical therapist, and I think that only helps him in his in the world of professional wrestling. He knows where to hit you where you can't get it worked on, the next day.
That's right. People would call him like a seasoned vet, if you will, but not to the fact that he's in a wheelchair or going down the ramp, right? Like, this guy is in more shape than I am. He's probably in better shape than half of these other wrestlers out there today. And for somebody who doesn't really need to do it, still does it and is proving himself better and better each time. I mean, if you guys haven't seen Crowbar live, don't miss it, right? This is going to be something different because Crowbar can still go at it at 100% more than some of these other guys who have been around the block, right? In a good way, though. But, I mean, we've talked to him on the show. He's been in WCW, been in WWE, the ECW, and TNA. He's been in how many promotions?
He's pretty much been in.
He's a record of that.
I mean, yeah. If you look on his Wikipedia, he's one of the only people that has wrestled for WWE, TNA, ECW, AEW, ACW now. Like he's, there's the belt collectors, the people that go around. Like he's the promotion collector. Like he's literally done it all in professional wrestling, and that means something. That means something to me. If you are, I don't know his exact age, but I'm assuming that, he's older than Anthony Greene. But what keeps him wrestling and what keeps promotions wanting to have Crowbar there? And I think it's the idea that he is really good at what he does. And I mean, tonight, on this night, January 4th, it's not going to be any different. And I think that, he's going to get a good welcome from this Poughkeepsie crowd. And I really can't say that I would be surprised to see Crowbar walk away with the W on this night.
No, sure. On the other hand, though, I'm thinking I'm seeing an Anthony Greene win this match. I've seen him for years. He's been on the Northeast wrestling scene. Started out, I think, on the show where we had Vic Delicious and Hale Collins. The Now, they even talked about it. I think he even visited them when they had the House of Hardcore clinic and classes. So from wrestling for Northeast Wrestling for House of Hardcore, making his way down to, I think he was either in like 205 Live or in WWE, but even working that scene a little bit. And then working in pro wrestling in Noah in Japan. So, he's definitely made a name for himself. I think he had one of the best entrance songs, too, when I saw him over here in the Northeast in Connecticut years ago. Really fun entrance. I forget what it was. But he's got a lot of charisma. Yeah. He can talk on the mic, and he can also go in the ring. And I think, he's the best of both worlds, too. Yeah. Going up against a guy like Crowbar, who's kind of like been there and done it around everything, I think Anthony Greene really has a chance to prove himself to be to beat one of the best at being one of the best. So I think this kind of a matchup is one of those things where, two different eras are clashing, and I think it's going to bring out the best in both of these guys. I mean, this is going to be another great match. No bad matches so far.
No.
This is everybody wants to see it.
No, and I think, it goes back to, like, you have Crowbar, who maybe thinking someday he does want to hang up his boots, but like, is it going to be on this night? Is he going to let Anthony Greene put that feather in his cap, or, is he still have something to prove? And, Anthony Greene, again, does something, time off and new promotions and all that stuff has to do something to you. It's got to mess with you a little bit. And Anthony Greene may be starting to gnaw at him a little bit. Is he good enough? What's the next step? And I mean, there's no better place to prove yourself than in ACW.
No, for sure. And guys, once again, and girls too, if you're watching, this is ACW.com. I mean, we're talking about all the matchups that are going to be happening on January 4th at the MJN Center in Poughkeepsie, New York, guys. This is ACW.com. You can get the exclusive meet and greets there. You get your tickets there. If you don't want to get them there, you can go to the MJN Center box office, get them over there too. But like you said earlier, don't sleep on this, right? As fans growing up, like as soon as the tickets went on sale, we had to buy them right away.
Yep.
And these ones are going fast. It's a hot card, and it's Poughkeepsie, New York. It's a wrestling in Poughkeepsie. It hasn't been there for a little bit, and I think now is the time to bring it back. Well, what better way to start off 2025 than pro wrestling in our own hometown?
Yeah, and the building, as a fan, I grew up in the Midwest. That's well documented on this podcast, but there wasn't a building in the Midwest that everybody would come to. This building has seen not only wrestling talent, but like everything comes to the MJN Center. And on this night, the inaugural ACW show is going to be there. And if you aren't there, you're going to be kicking yourself the next day, because I can only imagine we've went through a couple matches already, but like the heat that this show is bringing is just unparalleled. So
yeah.
You got to get out there.
It's going to be history in the making. And Jonathan, at our age, we're running out of things to do for the first time. There's not too many things you can do that are the first anymore. So having the first show in the beginning of the first of the year, even though it's on the 4th, but it's still the beginning of the year, what better way to start it off a new year than pro wrestling?
It's time to get in the ACW era. That's the thing, right? Taylor Swift and all that. It's the ACW era, and come on out and say hello to Steve and myself, and I'm sure Anthony Cooter will be there.
Angry Cooter will be there.
Oh, he's not as angry as he wants everyone to think.
I think he's angry that you're sitting in his seat today, but that's another thing.
We'll talk about that later, yeah.
Either way, guys, we're going to be there. This is ACW.com. We'll see you at the match. Not only are we going to Poughkeepsie on January 4th for ACW, but guys, if you're interested in doing your own podcast out there and you don't have the means, or you don't have the equipment to do it at home, check out beaconpodcasting.io. Sal at Beacon Podcasting has helped us kind of resurrect ourselves from the dead, if you will, going from audio coming to video. So this has been a dream for us to do what we're doing today. So guys, I can't encourage you enough. If you want your own podcast, just not maybe another wrestling podcast, but another kind of a podcast, come to Beacon Podcasting right off of 84, right next to the Beacon train station. It's a win-win.
It's beautiful in Beacon, and it's wonderful. Sal at Beacon Podcast, he's a pro. He's the best there is.
BeaconPodcasting.io. We'll see you on January 4th.